verdade. Boa tarde, galera. Estamos aqui fazendo um vídeo agora da homenagem pro Felipe Guest, né? Que nos deixou há alguns meses atrás. Infelizmente partiu. Né? E hoje é a cerimônia de agradecimento a ele, né? Onde eles vão atirar a cinza dele. Né? Tá aí o Juanzito, o Edinho. É nóis, estamos juntos. Vão tirar as cinzas dele ali na quadra de tênis. O esporte que ele é apaixonado por tênis e por golfe. Golfe não, por beisebol. Tênis e beisebol, né? É isso aí. Aí o pessoal tá aqui fazendo uma homenagem para ele. Todo mundo de branco, porque ele pediu que todo mundo ficasse feliz, não ficasse triste, né? Pela partida dele. Então, muito legal, entendeu? Assim, com pesar, né? A gente tá aqui, né, triste, né? Pela presença dele que ele não está. Mas ele está feliz, né? Porque o que ele pediu está sendo realizado no dia de hoje. Sábado, dia 10 de julho de 2021. O Dennis vai. O Steve vai falar agora.
But he wanted everybody to celebrate his life. And Phil, as we all know, never had one of anything. And that goes with his friends as well. Some friends come from tennis, some friends come from being AIDS, some friends come just by luck, other friends by neighbors. And Phil was a teacher by profession, but an educator by passion. And Phil touched a lot of lives through education. First of all, his students for 35 years. Later in life, his neighbor Peter, he tutored him so he was able to achieve his GED.
Yes.
It's great.
For 2 years. He tutored 2 years.
But, right? And most recently, he taught Jordan how to play chess. He taught them how to play tennis. He continued to do this through his life passionately. And I'm very grateful. I call him a friend. Live on, Phil.
Yes,
And I welcome anybody else who'd like to say anything.
Well, Phil,
Rosani.
I don't know, I started to work for Phil 2.5 years ago, and Phil just, became part of my kid's life, my life. And it was like, I was here every day, even the weekend. And it was just us. I was just telling Martin that I miss being here, like every day. Because it was just, I was watching him to the camera at nighttime, and we were here, and my kids were here, and my kids,
Was that appropriate, by the way?
friends. So I miss him so much, and it's kind of like I think about Phil every day. I go to Costco and I see something that he would have said, just get that, the grocery store. Just get 5 of them, just 2. Get sleeping bag for the kids, that they would come and, stay with their friends. And, it was, it's really hard not to have him here. And, my kids, I miss him so much. And it was just, it's just part of my life, for 2.5 years, and it will be no matter what. I think about him every single day. It's crazy. People think, oh, you were working for him. But it became like he was kind of like a father to me. And what he brought to my life, that made my life better and my kids' life, we would never be able to play tennis, never. It was through Phil's. Or do things, play chess, or stock market, and so many things that I was able to do. And if it wasn't for him, I was not gonna have access to that. And I miss you, Phil, and it's hard because you were right at the bar, and now we're going to do what you want, spread your ashes, but you're always gonna be in my mind and my family's mind. I love you and I miss you.
I would just like to say one other thing, if I may. I never heard Phil speak ill of anyone. He disagreed with my politics. He was right, but I was right. No, I was left. But he never held that against me. Even I guess he put one of his neighbors in his place who was very anti-Semitic, and he got tired of hearing about it. And he finally said one day, I don't know if you know this, but I'm part Jewish. His neighbor did not speak to him for years. But Phil was a very kind person. He was also very funny.
Yes.
He was very funny.
Yes, yes.
And I defy anyone in this room to beat him at Jeopardy.
Yeah, smart.
No, Gianni, he said, Gianni is very good, Rose. She's really good. She always used to say. It was funny because he would never come to you and said things that I did that he was upset. He would come to Gianni and said, Rose did this. I don't like it. The way I put the books on the bookshelf. He would say, Rose, it looks great. And then,
Excuse me, he always said I interrupted him.
yeah, that's right.
I don't know where he got that from.
And I heard about all of you I did wrong.
Val?
So I don't know. What did he say about me? But it was always funny. It was always like, I didn't really want to say anything, but I didn't like the way she did that, And the best cook. You were the best cook.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Grace was the best cook.
Yeah.
He
The
loves
best
your
cook.
food.
Oh, he goes, I'm gonna have a good meal today.
That's right.
So- and he used to say to me, don't let
Iris
Iris
cook.
cook. I'm like, all right. He looked to me like I was like the boss or something. I don't know. So, but I never told anyone what he said.
I never make an escalop. One time he just tell me, Grace, you make escalop for me. Oh yeah, you did this for me.
Grace was the best cook ever.
Go ahead.
Thank you guys.
Go ahead, dude.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of Cinsta tennis friends here, and so we ought to have at least one Cinsta story on Phil. And as you've noticed, Phil does everything full out,
Right.
as he did with Cinsta. And when I first joined Cinsta, it was a lot busier time. We had games Monday to Friday, one session in the morning, one session in the afternoon. Phil goes down as the only Cinsta player ever to have signed up for every tennis possible time, twice a day, morning, night, from mid-May till mid-September. And you know what? I don't think he actually ever missed one single game in the entire summer.
He lived for tennis.
He lived with
And he lived for his tennis friends.
Thank you, guys.
Gianni, do you guys
B.
Gianni?
Dick Barnes?
It's hard. If I start talking, I will cry and cry.
I will say, as a testament to Phil, this is exactly how he would have wanted his life to be celebrated.
Excuse me, people are not inebriated.
So this is how Phil viewed his friendships, his relationships, but it was all centered around his house, his pool, his tennis courts, among his Cinsta friends, and ultimately around the aides who helped him through the last years of his life. But I know that Phil is probably looking over here, and I'm sure that he is really so proud of everybody who's here and how his life is being celebrated.
Oh no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no.
No,
No, not with your shoes.
I haven't finished. I haven't started.
No.
Not yet. Not yet. I'm sure he wasn't drinking that much.
Phil said Steve is the first one to get in a pool, and he's the last one. Like September was so cold, he would play tennis, and there we go. That's what he does it every
Did
year.
you really?
He's the last one.
Wow.
To get in the pool.
I tell him don't close the pool yet.
This is what the last year and a half of Phil's life was like. These people, the caregivers, Stephen, his friends, created an environment to have fun. The kids were here. There was so much life going on. Stephen, Grace, Rosanna, Gianni, they made him live. I don't think he
Yes.
would have lived that long.
Yes.
And Stephen did his best and really everything to keep him alive and make his life worth living. It was like a little bit of paradise, and this is where Phil was on his way to. We had so much fun. It was just, he laughed, and his laugh was infectious. And it was just a great place to be. And this is what it like. This is what it was like. Today feels like what went on for so long here. So he loved to sit in his scooter and watch us play tennis. And I loved him because he would call.
He crashed into the gazebo.
Yes, he would call all of Stephen's balls out. Okay, and I loved them. Okay, Rosanna didn't call them out. Gianni didn't call them out either. But my eyes are much better than Stephen's and Phil's. And I will tell you, I love being here. I love being here with everybody. It was super. So.
So, anybody else?
Isabella, you said you wanted to say something, honey?
Yeah, that'd be.
How about you show us a gymnastic move that he would,
Well,
That's right. He would love that.
he would love to see that.
Let's see you do a double flip into the pool.
I wish it made Phil happier than having the girls
Do
around.
yeah.
I mean, you know, he loved when they would come by at the end of, you know, in the afternoons at the end of the day. He just, you know, he would light up when they were here.
All he wanted.
David, David,
Deixa ela terminar. Deixa ela terminar.
But they should know
Deixa ela
how
terminar.
much they added to Phil's life.
He wanted them to live next door so he could walk up. They could walk over after school.
Exactly, yep.
Ei, Rosana, Davi vai falar, Rosana. Davi vai falar. Come on,
Davi, you
David.
gonna
Come
say something?
That's good.
on. Good,
All
David.
right.
Okay.
Mr. Guest was a very good man. He felt like my grandpa. And he was a very kind person that I loved him so much in my heart every time I came to his house. And he was a very funny, great man. Important guy to help me stuff.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
So nice, so nice.
For those who wish to come, I'm just going to sprinkle some ashes as per Phil's request in the plants over the tennis court so he could watch all of you play again.
And put a few drops of
Rock and roll.
Ah, muita emoção, muita emoção.
drops of them in the hat and mix on the soil too.
Rock and ride.
Rock and ride, okay? That's from the French movie.
Esse aqui é o Felipe.
After, as soon as the girls test, but then you can go swim.
Ele deixou aqui alguns meses atrás.
I'll walk down.
Good job, David.
We're gonna walk down.
Good job.
She didn't hear what you said.
If everyone wants to go down, like we have balloons, you guys want to just let the balloons.
Of the poor.
He's gonna be crying. You did a great job.
Does anybody else want to sprinkle ashes?
Well, I don't think about Keeney's
A gente vai lá agora jogar cinzas, né?
I don't know how to.
Soltar os balões, jogar cinzas. Em homenagem ao Felipe. Isabela, careful. Careful, Isabela. Em homenagem ao Felipe Guest, né? Ao Mr. Guest. Juanzito tá aí na área. Tá subindo? Tá, já. Aí vou dar a volta aqui no interior da piscina. É isso aí. Vou pausar agora para não ficar muito grande. E vou fazer a segunda parte desse vídeo, né, em homenagem ao Felipe Guest. Foi uma pessoa muito bacana nas nossas vidas. Valeu. E beijo no coração de vocês.